12 strange spiritual signs that someone misses you. Someone who simply can't let you disappear is a pleasant thought, although the undercurrent is often less pleasant. Disappearance is often preceded by a separation that was not always entirely voluntary. Different life plans, different ideas of environment and country or destiny are most of the time what separates us from each other. The old saying, out of sight, out of mind, does not always apply as surely as we would like it to, but let us return to the beautiful and comforting thought that someone is continually directing his or her thoughts in our direction. In fact, there are signs that strongly suggest such circumstances. We'd like to introduce you to 12 of them in today's podcast. Number 1, you see yourself in dreams. People who have or have had a deep emotional or spiritual connection with each other can meet again and again in dreams. Even deceased people and people living on another continent manage to pay us a visit in this way. Dreams are a wonderful meeting place for all people who cannot be together during the day for various reasons. Number 2, we see and hear their names. Names are not just one and mirrors, they establish an immediate connection with the people they belong to. Of course, one can also think of a statistical coincidence or frequency if certain names keep coming to us. Probably, selective perception also plays a role here. The constant mentioning of names, however, is a good example of how distant loved ones can boldly make their way into our consciousness. Number 3, pure goosebumps. Goosebumps are a medical phenomenon that has not yet been satisfactorily elucidated or researched. They do occur at various times, and sometimes for no reason at all, it seems. However, it is also considered a sufficient sign that someone is seeking contact with us. Just as the tender touch of a loved one gives us goosebumps in the most pleasant way, so do all the people who hold a special place in our hearts, even at a distance. Number 4, so far away and yet so close. When someone misses us, we can literally feel those vibes. He or she sends us so many good thoughts that our energy flow must inevitably resonate. Those who were once closely connected to each other will never really have to give up that closeness. We can continue to feel each other if we allow it and are open to a little fairy dust from the spiritual world. Number 5, feel their touch. Loved ones who are gone, in particular, seem to have the power to comfort us with a caress in times of deep sadness or loneliness. We feel embraced, we feel human upon us or a touch on the shoulder, just as they would have done when they were alive to lift us up again. People who miss us can also touch us from a distance. Again, energy cannot be lost, it has to get somewhere and manifest. Number 6, hiccups and sneezing in cases. These two symptoms are always considered fixed signs that someone is thinking a lot about us. Even our parents and grandparents grew up with this truism, suggesting a long tradition of this knowledge. So when we have an unexplained sneezing fit or an episode of hiccups, it is usually because someone is thinking good thoughts. Number 7, all roads lead there. No matter what we do or refrain from doing, we always find ourselves sooner or later on the road to her or him. All our aspirations and efforts seem to have a single goal, to get back face to face with that person as soon as possible. Number 8, the connection with them is still strong. Those who were once able to share a deep attachment and love with a person do not forget this feeling so quickly. A bond is formed between two people in such a way that no distance, no estrangement, and sometimes not even death can break it. If you can still clearly perceive this contact, she or he is thinking of you. Number 9, memories suddenly enter our consciousness. Memories are a strange thing. From time to time we take refuge in them, but sometimes they are not welcome at all. However, they are a bit like our feelings, they come when they feel like it, the right time for them is always and everywhere. Even people we've had to let go keep coming back into our consciousness, which shows that they haven't forgotten us yet. Number 10. Many things in everyday life remind us of them. The difficult thing about involuntary separations are the countless little clues that are waiting every day to remind us of our loved ones. Every object in the shared home, every tree by the roadside, all things seem to want to tell us the shared story over and over again, day after day. There is no smell, sound or event that does not constantly make us think of that person. Number 11. We continue to meet. Yes, that exists too. After all, it's a small world. Someone misses us and their subconscious makes sure that our paths constantly cross. These synchronicities are exciting indications that many things are possible with the power of our thoughts. In this case, give a chance to the idea that maybe this person is meant to play a role in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic or passionate. She or he may be able to support you in other ways. The universe rarely imposes itself for no reason. Number 12. At some point, the time for missing is over. Sometimes there is a happy ending, even if we no longer know each other, even in real life. Then we can hug and walk at least part of the way together. Then the waiting and missing each other has been worth it. All the wonderful signs, they were not just comforting help to get through the time apart better, they were harbingers of this reunion. Good thoughts exclusively to you. It's nice to be missed. The idea that another person seeks our closeness and focuses their thoughts and feelings on us is flattering and honors us greatly. Some separations are easier to bear if we are allowed to mourn near the other person, at least in our thoughts. Here several laws of nature come to our aid that even physics cannot ignore. Energy in the form of thoughts and feelings, for example, must get somewhere and generate energy. Therefore, none of our longings go anywhere, but are destined to meet with dissonance. Furthermore, spiritual messages should always be understood as an appeal and an imperative for action to the universe. Ask for it and it will be granted. Until then, however, we must exercise patience and struggle with a less pleasant circumstance than the pain of separation and longing bring. They grow incessantly if countermeasures are not taken. The Italian philosopher and scholar Machiavelli summed it up beautifully. Our longings become greater and greater the less we can satisfy them. If you enjoyed today's podcast, feel free to subscribe to this channel. That's all for today. Thank you and see you soon.